Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go.
I feel like borrowing a phrase from the Prime Minister when he said, we made it. Yes, we did. Good morning and Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to Up and Go for the year, first one for the year 2022. How is everybody doing today? Hope you had a wonderful end of 2021 and are looking forward to all good things, hopefully, in the year 2022. Morning to the members of my team in the building. My name is Richie B, and we're really, really happy that we have made it into the new year. It's now time for WTF. That made it into 2022. What the fact, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be interesting. Researchers once turned a live cat into a telephone. Wow, this is something else. Let me just see what this one is saying. It's a fact that I'm sure many of you might never have heard before. So let me tell you. Princeton researchers Ernest Weaver and Charles Bray took out a cat's skull and most of its brain to connect the animal to electricity. Now, when they spoke into the cat's ear, the sound could be heard through a phone receiver in another room. This is what you call a twisted experiment, I guess. But that twisted experiment, in fact, paved the way for cochlear implant developments. So this happened, I think, in the early 1920s or something like that. It's a long time ago, but they were ahead of their time. And it really seems like quite a twisted experiment, but the results were far-reaching and have made a difference to persons who are having issues in terms of their inner ear and its functionality. Yeah.
You had a series on TV called X-Files.
Uh-huh.
That is some X-Files.
Listen, that is where that belongs.
Listen.
And this, look at how long it happened, in the early 1920s. They were ahead of their time, actually. Trust me. All right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is WTF. Like I said, What the Fact has made it over into 2022, and we're not complaining at all. Time for us to check out our Proverb of the Day. That has also made it into 2022. And today we have another proverb for you. We're going to ask Richie to play it, and then we'll do the translation and followed by the explanation of this Jamaican proverb. It's 15 before 8.
Was sweeter mouth, hotter belly.
What did she just say a while ago?
Was sweeter mouth, hotter belly.
What she know about that? All right. There you have it. Was sweeter mouth, hotter belly. All right. How many of you know this proverb? And how many of you actually know what this one really means? The easy part is always the translation. So when you hear, was sweeter mouth, hotter belly, that is translated in English to mean, what tastes sweet in the mouth burns the belly. Huh. Now then, the explanation. Let me just make sure if it's what I'm thinking. All right. I'm just glancing through, listeners, to make sure that everything is A-okay. All right. So, when you hear the proverb, was sweeter mouth, hotter belly, translated to mean what tastes sweet in the mouth burns the belly, the explanation of that Jamaican proverb is as follows. Some things are not good for us, although they appear to be exactly what we want. Further, we should be cautious about what we latch onto, lest we cause ourselves much pain and even embarrassment. That is what that is about. I don't know what you were thinking, but that is the official explanation for the Jamaican proverb, which says, was sweeter mouth, hotter belly. All right. That is our proverb of the day. So, the Jamaicans and many persons the world over have been treating with skepticism this whole matter of 5G technology. And the battle in 5G technology is now reaching a crescendo. Do you know that this Wednesday of this week, there are two major companies in the United States of America, for instance, that are now going the route of 5G technology? We understand that Verizon and AT&T will roll out their new 5G services this Wednesday. That is going to be the 5th of January. But this is happening at a time when even airlines have been requesting a delay, arguing that their wireless signals might be interrupted and could even interrupt flight operations near the airports. So they were hoping that the telecommunications companies would at least put a little pause on it and allow them to figure things out a little better. Verizon and AT&T are saying, hey, we are going ahead, not a day later. So this coming Wednesday, they're rolling out their 5G services. And we understand that the compromise that the two companies in particular, as referenced, have decided to come with is that they're offering to dim the power of the service for the first 6 months. But I'm a little concerned, to be honest with you. If the airlines are saying, hey, can you hold off for a little bit because we think it could interrupt our signals and so on, they're going ahead with it even whilst dimming it. I have some concerns. Might not be taking a trip to the United States anytime soon. Let's wait and see. Right now, we do have an interview segment, and face-to-face classes are expected to resume in all infant and primary as well as secondary level institutions this morning. Some schools welcome the change. Others are concerned about reopening schools with such low vaccination rates and, of course, COVID-19 cases which are back on the rise. We are joined this morning by the principal of the Dalvey Infant and Primary School over there in the parish of St. Thomas, and Mrs. Vivienne Douglas Lee is our guest. Good morning, Mrs. Douglas Lee. Happy New Year.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you too and your listeners.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. How are things looking at the school this morning? Are students and teachers out in their numbers?
Well, most of the teachers are out. The children are coming in because we start with our first class at 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the primary, the lower grades 1 to 3, coming in for 7:30. And then grades 4 to 6, they will come in at 8.
So, would you say you have more than, say, 50% at the start?
Presently, no.
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 So it's a low turnout then. You're reporting.
Because it's early days, so the grades 1 to 3 should be here. Not all of them are here as yet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Were you able, Mrs. Douglas Lee, to get a feel as to how people actually are viewing this resumption of face-to-face classes from both parents and guardians and so on? What was the feeling that you were getting? Yes?
I've been hearing persons have been talking because of the spike in the COVID, persons are really kind of scared of sending out the children. Just last night, a parent said to me, Miss, school should reopen in February. But the children, they have been out for a very long time, and I think it is time for them to really come back.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How have you and your staff prepared for the resumption of face-to-face learning?
Well, what we have been doing, we have been having sessions with parents, sessions with children, sessions with teachers ourselves. Our guidance counselor have been having psychosocial session with all stakeholders. So we are ready. We're ready. We have all our different areas, our signs, our isolation area. We have all our things up and ready.
Mm-hmm. Are the teachers vaccinated?
Well, most of them are, yes.
Most of them.
Yeah.
So
90% of my teachers, they are vaccinated.
okay. Do you, Mrs. Douglas Lee, do you see any challenges this term? And what are some of the challenges that you envision might happen over there at the Dalvey?
Well, since we are in deep rural St. Thomas, the children, most of them walk to school, so they live in the area. So challenges, I don't see much of that happening, and I'm hoping that nothing will go wrong for this term, that will be okay by the end of it.
Mm-hmm. So you're of the view that as the days progress, you'll be getting increasing numbers of students coming out over there at Dalvey.
Yes, man. Yes, they will be coming, because the infant department, they are not here as yet, so they'll be coming. And I have over 80 children in the infant department. Mm-hmm. So they will be here during the course of the day.
For a parent within the vicinity who has a child or children attending that institution who might be a little concerned, what would you say to such a parent in terms of how you'll be conducting the school to ensure that there's no, shall we say, spread of the virus within the institution?
Okay, so what we have been doing and what we have done, the children are sitting 3 feet apart from each other. They wear their masks constantly. If a child, if we see a child with runny nose or coughing or anything like that, what we will do is to pull the child from the class and call parents to come and collect. What we have been doing also is to say to parents, if the child woke up this morning and is having any kind of flu-like symptoms, don't send them out. Mm-hmm. So that is what we have been saying to the parents, and the teachers are looking out for that. Before anyone enter any of the room, they are checked. Their temperature check is done as soon as they come through the gate. Mm-hmm. So that is done, and we're registered, and so we watch what is happening as soon as the child or a teacher. Parents don't come through the gate. We don't allow parents to come, just the children mm-hmm. and teachers.
Is it mandatory for them to wear masks right throughout the day?
So yes, they have mask break where the teacher will allow them to come outside for a minute or two to just remove their mask and then go back in. So it's mandatory for everybody,
mm-hmm. Okay,
every worker to wear their mask.
All right. School. So overall, it seems you're taking no chances.
No, we are not. No, we are not.
Wonderful. I hope.
As I said, they are sanitized regular. The rooms are sanitized regular, and we are really doing everything to make sure that none of us here at Dalvey Primary and Infant.
Mrs. Douglas Lee, I hope that the term goes well, and I wish you, the staff, and the students all the best, and take good care. Happy New Year once again.
Thank you, and same to you.
Wonderful talking there with Mrs. Vivienne Douglas Lee, the principal of the Dalvey Infant and Primary School in the parish of St. Thomas, on a morning when face-to-face classes are resuming across the island. We thought we'd speak to a principal and get some comments from her, as you would have heard a while ago. We say good morning to all the teachers and all the students who are rolling out to face-to-face classes this morning. Best wishes. It looks like a lot of Jamaicans are doing very well and getting a lot of recognition and respect in Africa.
Let me tell you.
Yes, sir. Beanie Man was just down there recently, and it looks like Conscience also ended up in, he was in Kenya, ringing in the new year, it seems. And let me tell you something, people. These brothers are performing to some huge crowds. Yeah, this looks like, I don't know, it could be 25,000 people or something like that. Conscience was starring on in Kenya, and who was also in Africa to ring in the new year? Popcorn. He rang in the new year with the likes of Davido, the Stefflon Don, Stone Boy, and he was in Ghana. So Conscience was in Kenya, Popcorn was in Ghana. The Unruly Boss went ahead and shared some highlights of his New Year's Eve celebrations in Africa via his Instagram page. We caught some of that. and he was making appearances along with the names mentioned earlier. And they had a big event. They called it the Gatsby Gala, and that was in Ghana, in Africa. And it was hosted by billionaire entrepreneur Freedom Jacob Cesar. And it was a star-studded lineup, which also featured, of course, Jamaica's very own Popcorn. And so our Jamaicans are getting a lot of respect in Africa. And that's a good look. We want to say congratulations to Elaine Thompson here once again. What a month December was for her. She was named AIPS's Best Female Athlete for 2021. That was a good look for Elaine Thompson Hira. And then also last month, she was named the NCAC Athletics Weekly Female Athlete of the Year and the Diamond League's most consistent athlete in sprints after winning 4 races. It was also in the month of December, in case you missed it, that Elaine Thompson Hira received an honorary Doctor of Laws degree from the University of Technology. And we know that the Sports Foundation, the Sportsman and Sportswoman of the Year award ceremony is coming up, I think sometime this month. So I suspect that, well, let's just say a lot of persons are expecting that she will be crowned Sportswoman of the Year. We'll wait and see. Prime Minister Andrew Holness shared recently in the House of Representatives that there has been a lot of concern about the loss of productivity that this measure is having. He said we need to get back to normal, but of course to do so safely. Well, we are seeing a rise in the number of cases of the coronavirus, especially due to the variant, the Omicron variant. And we have with us this morning to look at all of this and more the General Secretary of the National Workers Union of Jamaica, Mr. Granville Valentine. Happy New Year, Granville. How are you doing?
Thank you, and Happy New Year to you, to Richie B, your family, and then to your other co-workers.
Thank you so much.
And also for the rest of Jamaica and the working class, of course.
Most definitely. Thank you for joining us on this program this morning. Granville, what are your thoughts on the government's decision to end the work-from-home order at this time?
Again, I must first say I don't know what the government is looking at, but it's a bad idea. I have no problem in hoping up a bit and do it in stages, phases. That is a wise way to approach it. But I'm sure that the workplaces and those that operate within those spaces are not prepared. Is Corona gone? No, absolutely no. We're dealing with a new strain, the 4th, in fact. And that, in my view, is one that we don't even understand well enough as yet. So the decision should be surely that we continue to work from home, where there are safe spaces, where there are conditions that are prepared to treat with the virus, then you gradually phase in those persons and in those spaces. For example, yes, when you look at opening schools, and I sympathize with the teachers, they are going in an indefinite situation that they don't know about. That should absolutely not be the way. We have spoken about 65% of the cohorts being vaccinated. You should not have changed that. The mix of online and the spaces where teachers and students are vaccinated, we still should look at that pattern. We still should look at schools that are equipped to treat with the protocols. At the workplace, it works out very well and better for some management, right? Be it government or private sector. Mm-hmm. I have not seen And surely not from the trade union movement. As you would have heard, the Confederation of Trade Union is against this. The Medical Association is against this. And all the experts that we relied on, basically saying, Mr. Prime Minister, don't do it this way. We're all hands on deck, you know. We are all for Jamaica to open up. We're all for Jamaica to move forward. We are all for a safe Jamaica. But the approach that is being taken is one that is absolutely unacceptable. It cannot be a dark hole that we are pushing our people in. The government themselves don't know what the situation will be. We cannot test with people's lives.
Do you though share the concerns of the Prime Minister about the loss of productivity that is taking place due to this when the order was in place?
Look, this is an act of God. I would want to think, unless someone can prove to me that it is an act of man and it was made in some place,
in a lab,
in a lab or so, or in some special place. So it is understood that people will get a pinch in their pocket, but we have opened up for the Christmas holidays, and it was a good test run. What is the result? The numbers are increasing. The new variant in place. Is that a prepared condition to put back the workers? Many of these workers have lost many pay because of the condition that exists. Where will they find medical bills? How will they survive in terms of if they get sick? The hospitals are overwhelmed. You know, so whilst that is an argument that is one that is plausible, it is not sufficient to put the lives and the health of our nation at risk. So we understand the manufacturers. Those people that are speaking are not exposed to these conditions. They're not putting themselves at dangers. We're not talking about slavery, man. We're talking about human beings. We're talking about the 21st century, modern days. We cannot risk the lives of our people to suit the few. So let us, all hands on deck, let us sit down. Let us look at the best way in instituting or operating in those spaces to improve productivity. It can be a carte blanche. It can be an overall situation where you just say all the public sector workers must return to work. All the teachers must go back to the school. Many parents are very concerned. Mm-hmm. I don't speak for the Teachers Association, but I hear them too crying out and said, look, this is something we have to take a second look, and we don't think we are prepared. So if the minds of people are not prepared, you see the danger by and of itself which one faces.
Are workers then resisting the notion of going back to work, and how is this playing out in the workplaces?
Well, the voices of the people, if that is all we can rely on right now, and the workers are really resisting it verbally. I don't know what the turnout will be, but one thing I'm sure, every worker we would have spoken with are concerned, and some are scared, because they too believe that we are not prepared and we are not ready based on all that is happening right now. You know, so it is a difficult situation, and I am calling on the Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, please take a second look. Do this in phases. Let us take a little more time and see how best we can roll out such situation. Let us look at the first 2 weeks of January. What is the outcome in terms of the spread? Mm-hmm. I think there's an increase of about 34.9. You know, that is no figure for us to be comfortable with unless we are risking or willing to risk the life and health of persons who will be going to the workplaces.
From the perspective of the union, the NWU, how will the work from home ending affect workers who have not been vaccinated, Granville?
Well, surely I believe that it will harm both those who are vaccinated and those who are not. Because what we are seeing happening is that a lot of us who are fully vaccinated are still getting the virus, are still getting ill. Yeah? So I don't think there's any separation from those who are not and those who are, because we are exposed to the same danger. Yes, it is a fact that most of us who are vaccinated will have better resistance, but we also pass it on more easily because there's no signs in many instances of us being sick. So we are talking with many of the private sector management, and some of them are still carrying out their work from home policy. Some are saying that this works so well, it eased in many ways. I have not heard of any, with one exception, that is suggesting that the productivity is being harmed greatly. Christmas just gone, and a lot of business people make a lot of money. Yeah, a lot of money. The workers make none. Why expose these workers in this way? It cannot be in an abundance of just pushing them out there. So it must be something that is properly organized, properly thought through, and for us to move together. Can't be that the workers and the workers' representatives are totally on one side. The government is on another side, along with some of the manufacturers. We need to be at the table together, because as leaders, at the end of the day, we all suffer if this thing doesn't work out.
You have made the call then for the Prime Minister to relook at this situation. What will happen over the next few days? More consultations with your workers to get their viewpoints. What happens over the next few days? Well,
immediately we have started talking to our workers, but we are also talking to reasonable management. And we would say we are hoping that the government will call us, the trade union movement, the Confederation of Trade Union, to the table for us to have some further dialogue within the next couple of days, so that we all can be on the same page. So we are looking at all the scenarios. We are looking at the best fit for the government, the manufacturers, but of course we have a first obligation to the workers, their health and their family.
Granville Valentine, ladies and gentlemen, General Secretary of the National Workers Union. Thank you, Granville. I wish you a great year 2022 and all the best. Talk to you again soon.
Thank you, my friend, and the same to you.
All right, much appreciated. Granville Valentine, Gen Sec of the National Workers Union of Jamaica. Yeah, he bought his grandma. She never said I'm into no gadgets and stuff like that, and he bought her this gadget. So she's not even familiar with the functions. And she's opening up her gift and she's like, hey, what is this you got me, son? I told you didn't have to get me a gift. I'm all right. And then she opens it and he says, that's yours. She says, what is this? What do I do with this? I'm not familiar with it. Where do I put it? I think Grandma has that in storage right now. Let me tell you something. The very pleasant grandmother, when she realized what it was all about, her language changed. And she moved from sounding like a Christian little woman to a rant that was laced with expletives, because she doesn't understand why this young man decides that she deserves to get a gift of that nature. I use that word advisedly. For Christmas. And there's a message in that. Young people, you have to be careful of what you're getting your grandparents. You can't go and buy stuff that maybe the now generation are into, but definitely not a grandma looking like, say, 65, 70 years of age. Look, you should never take it and hit you with it in your face or something, you know what I mean? Don't know if it has escaped your attention, but there's some news coming out of Haiti suggesting that the Prime Minister of Haiti actually survived an assassination attempt that took place, was it yesterday, as a matter of fact? But thankfully, it was a failed attempt to assassinate the Prime Minister of Haiti, Ariel Irie, which we understand took place on Sunday at a church in the city of Gonaives during a mass dedicated to the 218th anniversary of the country's independence. So the reports that we're getting are that he was told by the gangs not to attend. Imagine that. They're telling the Prime Minister, do not come into this territory. Do not attend this particular mass. Well, he insisted and he went, obviously, with his security detail. And shots were fired, and it is being reported that the Haitian Prime Minister survived an assassination attempt. From all indications, he was not injured or anything like that. But, wow, it could have been otherwise. And especially in a country where just a few months ago, they actually lost their president and in an assassination. So that is the latest that we have coming out of Haiti. At the same time, we understand that over in an African country, Sudan, we understand that the Prime Minister has in fact resigned. And that is Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok. Well, he has resigned after there were a series of mass protests in that country. And thousands of people marched against a recent deal that he had done to share power with the army, who had, in fact, you would recall, staged a coup in October. Remember carrying that story right here. And as it has turned out, he struck a deal with the army to jointly run the country, but many people were not having it. And now it looks like the army themselves have taken over fully because the Prime Minister of Sudan, Abdallah Hamdok, has in fact resigned. These are some important developments that we thought we'd share with you. Here's another one, though, and this has to do with a Jamaican artist who was in Africa, in Ghana to be exact. We mentioned it earlier, Mr. Andre Sutherland. He was in Ghana for this Gatsby festival, and there was an auction, and it has now come to my attention that this Jamaican artist shelled out $100,000 United States dollars on a bottle of champagne. You dig? You seem to be speechless over there.
Richard?
Yeah, $100,000.
Well, read that again.
Yeah, popcorn. We're talking about, if the reports are to be believed, in this auction, remember I told you earlier on that the party was being staged by a millionaire gentleman, Mr. Cheddar. They call him Mr. Cesar. Freedom Jacob Cesar. And he had this auction whilst at the party, the Gatsby party. And this bottle of champagne was being auctioned, and it was snapped up by Popcorn. It is said to be for about $100,000. And the special edition of this champagne was accompanied by gold dust, according to the auctioneer. And so I guess that's some value that Popcorn has in his hands.
Listen, for that cheddar, I am drinking that champagne till 2044. See me?
You're going to have a problem with storage. It's going to be flat after a few days. Oh, boy.
Listen.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a lot of money to spend. All right, so the story I've been telling you about, I've been asking, what do you call a situation where someone has both the coronavirus and influenza? Well, a few hours ago, in Israel, of all places, it was discovered that a young pregnant woman was carrying both the COVID and the influenza at the same time. And this is the first time, apparently, that this combination of diseases was being discovered in any human being. They have called it a name. They call it Flurona. It just hit one of my virgin just look up like, what? Yep. This woman in Israel who has now found herself, unfortunately, she's pregnant, one, and she's found herself carrying both influenza and corona, the virus. Well, it is now being said that she's carrying Flurona, which is the influenza and the coronavirus at the same time. Local reports say that the patient was a young pregnant woman who was in hospital, but they say that her symptoms are mild. So they're treating her as we speak. This was just discovered a few hours ago, this morning in Israel. And that's a new one that we now have to put in our vocabulary. Flurona, spelled Flurona. A combination of there goes Richie. Yeah, a combination of influenza, which is like the flu, and corona, the virus. Flurona.
Flurona, to me, I mean, honestly, it sounds. I would have, I have a name for it. I would have called it influo. That.
You'd have called it influrona.
Yeah.
Picking up on the influenza.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to suggest that you send that on to our friends in Israel.
Let's patent it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the latest development, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about 9 minutes away from the the international connection with DJ Roy. Good morning, sir. Happy New Year, DJ Roy.
Morning. Happy New Year to everybody in Jamaica, and of course, especially the staff at Bridge 99. Morning, my brother.
Give thanks, bro. Good to have you once again, and good morning to all our brethren and sisterins at Irie Jam Radio, and all of the listeners in the tri-state area. Happy New Year, one and all. 22 day, brother.
Yeah, it's here, and COVID still I keep.
Yeah. COVID still I keep in a big way.
Yeah. Over the last 14 days in New York, we've had over 660,000 cases.
Jesus.
Over the last 14 days.
You're not making that up, DJ Roy. That's serious. Those numbers are serious.
That is serious number. Florida's had over 400 cases, California 300 cases, and Jersey 277 cases.
Yo.
So COVID still I keep.
Yeah, definitely. And you heard what happened over in Israel. They have a new one. A combination. A pregnant woman in hospital was discovered carrying both the influenza and the corona. And it is now being carried. It's now being called or dubbed Flurona. That's a new development. The first case in the world of such a combination. Flurona. Yeah. That's the latest that we have out of Israel this morning. So COVID definitely still a keep.
Yeah, and you know, and I always say to Jamaica, when you think uno alone, do not think that. And when you know certain protocols are put in place, it's for people's safety.
Yeah.
Now we here in New York get, you know, as radio personalities and media, we come under the pressure of reporting and trying to find a balance, because you have the naysayers that are saying, you know, this is conspiracy, this is that. They're not hearing enough of that from radio and print media and TV. So we try to be careful in the sense of, you know, we can't say just go out road and do what you want.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to each his own. You know.
Definitely. And we try to read as much as we can and impart as much as we can and make sure that they're getting, sometimes we try to give them both sides of the story just to make sure
exactly.
and allow them to make up their minds, you know?
Yeah,
it's the way what we have to do. But it's a new year. We're looking forward to some great possibilities, even amidst the pandemic that we're still in. And for you, DJ Roy, I hope it's going to be your best year yet, bro.
I'm gearing myself up for it. Last night I worked out for 45 minutes.
Wow.
My first workout of the year. and it was not bad. I'm not in any pain. So that's a good thing, Richie. You know, when you reach my ear, sometimes you have to check out the Tiger Balm and the Bengi. And
I tell you the honest truth, I took it out and I didn't even exercise. So, you know what I'm talking about. But that is also one of the things that I have. I don't even want to call it a resolution, but I want to be a little bit more active on the exercise front. So that is a part of my plan. You have actually preempted me by starting already. So that will be a source of motivation. So maybe I will get mine started this evening when I get home.
Welcome, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. And I'll tell you this too. My jog run was in 8 degrees below zero.
Oh my goodness.
Below zero. Last night when I finally came back into my room, it was 1 degree, exactly 1.
Whew.
Yeah.
And you survived.
So you can't stop. You
gotta
can't
be
stay one place too long.
You gotta be moving. That takes a lot of courage and a whole lot more. Trust me, those temperatures are serious, man.
Yeah, serious temperatures here where I'm in Minnesota.
I think you're getting snow today, right?
We're getting snow today, and a high today will be 5 degrees. And that's around 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, boss. Good luck. Good luck. An interesting story coming out of New York City that we just saw here, DJ Roy. A UK nurse reportedly recovers from COVID-19 coma after receiving Viagra. Can you imagine? They're trying all kinds of things to cure people. And New York Post is reporting that a UK nurse came out of a coma when she was given Viagra. Female nurse. That's more than interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But you know, I want to know, and I'm gonna see if I can make a connection with him in a few days. Popcorn and this
Champagne?
This bottle of champagne.
$100,000.
Is it true, Richie?
It looks like it is.
100.
It looks like it is. He must have a plan.
He didn't open it though. That must be an investment.
It must be an investment. That's what I'm saying, because maybe 6 months from now he hopes to get $200,000 for the same bottle of champagne with all the accoutrements that went with it. Because otherwise we couldn't. Otherwise we couldn't say that is a solid investment at all.
Not unless it's an investment with returns. We need to speak to Popcorn. We got to get him on.
Maybe we'll get Shane Brown quicker than we'll get Popcorn. But we'll see how it goes. We're working on it.
Man,
$100,000, and that was in Ghana, where he was with Stonebwoy and Stefflon Don and others ringing in the new year. I also saw some images and spoke about them earlier, where Conscience was in Kenya, and he performed to some very, very large audiences as well. And, of course, Beanman was just recently down there. So the fact is the Jamaican artists are definitely getting a good run in Africa right now, and it's a good look.
Indeed. And, of course, Conscience Selector happens to be one of the members of Road International, and that's Star. He's on the road with him. Yeah, he's on the road with him. If you see pictures on stage, he's on stage jumping up and down.
Okay, cool.
And I do him things. So big up Star from the Road International family.
Definitely. Definitely.
And Conscience doing their thing, doing their thing. And again, Happy New Year to the whole team down there at Bridge Nation, working hard as usual. And a big, big shout out to my team here in New York City. Hope everyone is prepared for this year and whatever goals you have, and you work towards them.
Yeah.
Because you do have to work towards them. Ain't going to come to you.
Indeed, indeed. May all your dreams come true. Thank you so much, DJ Roy. Big ups to the Irie Jam family. And we catch up with you on Wednesday morning again, all right?
All right, same two big bad radio stations, my friend.
Yeah, around the world. I'm seeing images coming out of Maryland, by the way. Somebody just sent me. There's a lot of snow in Maryland as we speak. It's cold up in the north, in the northeast.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have a good day nonetheless, all right?
All right, take care.
Every
That's
time, bro.
Richie B.
Every time. That was DJ Roy and the Irie Jam Radio family out of New York City. We just did a simulcast. That is what you call it where you're live in 2 different territories in this instance, both in Jamaica on 99.1, 0.3, 0.5, 0.7, and 0.9 on the FM band, and also at the same time across the tri-state area, courtesy of Irie Jam Radio on, that is out of New York City. Right. We got 10 minutes now before the hour of 11 o'clock. It has been quite a morning. Thanks again to Mrs. Vivienne Douglas Lee, the principal of the Dalvey Primary and Infant School in St. Thomas, who spoke with us at 8 o'clock this morning. Thanks to our news team that came together and presented news, sports, and entertainment news at 8:30. We called it News 360. We had a chat with Mr. Granville Valentine, the General Secretary of the National Workers Union of Jamaica, and that was focusing on back to work orders and so on, and what's happening in the workplaces. And that was DJ Roy joining us from New York City for the Global Connection. There's a story that I'm privy to. It has to do with Grace Hamilton, aka Spice, and she put out a message post on the weekend that has a number of persons not in agreement, and some are actually she's getting a bit of a backlash as a result of the comments that she made. Basically, she says, ladies, take those wigs off and wash your hair. She says, Spice says, since it's a new year, she says, Happy New Hair, meaning Hair. And she goes, pun intended. All those old braids from 2021, please stop beating your head with your hands. Wash your hair. So a lot of ladies are somewhat offended by the post, and some of them are not in support of the sarcasm. Even some say it's outright scorn that she's pouring on a situation, and so many women, not surprisingly, have taken offense to Spice's recommendation for maintaining personal hygiene. You've seen them, have you? The knocking of the head?
Yes.
Not just with the hands. In instances with whatever they can get their hands on. I actually saw one lady who was standing beside a wall, concrete wall. And it is a firm wall. All the pockets were filled with concrete, so you know it's a tough wall.
Yeah, man.
And she was standing there just knocking the head on the wall. But I don't know whether or not it was because her wig needed to be washed, as Spice is indicating. But some people naturally would take offense to that, especially the guilty ones, you know?
Yeah, but Richie, that's torture for them. I mean, when you really think about that, I mean, honestly.
I think some ladies actually say when they're doing that tapping of the head or slapping of the head thing, it sometimes is because the braids are tight.
Yeah,
I've heard that said as well. Yeah. So I just want to put that in there because I don't want them to deal with me like how them are dealing with Spice right now. If you get my drift. Yeah. So that is what Spice said, and those are some of the reactions coming in.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.